Yeah, I mean, the one thing that we've as coach, when you drive to the ground, you want to know whether your players are ready to roll. And the thing that I haven't, I guess, doubted for most of the season, and we've had a couple of blowouts here and there, is they've turned up to want to play. And that's sort of something that's just been probably a trademark of this group. And I think that for a small patch there, we were starting to get beaten in last quarters, and it was sort of just a little bit open sailing for the opposition. But we're just slowly becoming tougher as a group, I think, and becoming much more resilient. And obviously we've had some hard times, but I think I generally believe that the group that we've got emerging is getting tougher. And it's a trait that you've got to have to be able to get to the next level, and we're far from that next level, as we know. The ladder position says that, but for the emerging group that's coming together and they can have that faith and ability with each other, that they know they're going to get that as a minimum. It's it's a pretty good starting point.
The fact that you have losses this year, but a lot of them have been quite narrow, is that suggesting that with a small learning curve in the season, fairly significant?
Well, I hope so. I mean, certainly we can't get away from the fact that it's, we have that characteristic right now, but some of the improvements, we've got to start to put the class around the edges, if you want to call it that. Ball movement become a little bit more efficient, ability to get the inside 50 a bit more a few times. Last month where, we've been right up there as, I think we're nearly the most efficient team in the competition over the last 5 weeks for getting inside 50, or scoring from inside 50. So, we've got some really damaging players when, you look at a Jonathan Brown who hasn't been there. So when we're talking about the emerging of the group and a Jonathan Brown who's been the pivotal to us in that part of the ground, and we haven't been able to score if he hasn't been there, I think that's sort of we're squashing that. We're getting others that are stepping up to do that job, and we hope that obviously a Jonathan Brown will complement us when he comes back in, which would be a nice problem to have if we could do that. So contested ball, we're still going to improve. So there's still areas that we've got to be able to get better at. And with more time together and another pre-season together, I'm sure that we'll see some genuine improvements. And, our first and last quarters, I think that if sort of members and fans are looking at, the way we go about things, I think they should, have a bit of a look at that against a pretty good opposition.
For all the positives, though, have you had a gut full of those horrible losses?
You can't. There's always, this is the fine line as a coach, where you sit here and say, yeah, we're making progress in these areas, but that doesn't mean you actually sit here and accept a loss. It's, there's still competitor is that you've got to be able to be good enough to do it long enough to win those games, and capitalise on last quarters by being able to build scoreboard pressure on the opposition. Because even though that we finished, we didn't build that scoreboard pressure, but we did finish out the game strong, which is what I was pleased with. And especially the previous 5 weeks before that, we can categorically say it is not fitness. It is not fitness. We can put that to bed. It's got nothing to do with it. So it's ability to be able to sustain it over that 4 quarters.
Matty Littleburn is going really well at the moment.
Yeah.
Must be really pleased with the way he's developed through the year so far.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say Matty's probably in his, if there's he won't be an All-Australian ruckman, but he's in All-Australian form. He's playing very, very well. He played against a really quality ruckman tonight and did well. We probably didn't get the benefits at ground level that much. But as a midfielder, I can tell you if as being a midfielder myself, if your ruckman's going to win it, it's rather exciting. So our forward, that group that's emerging in that area, I think that they've got a ruckman and 2 ruckmen in Mitch Clark also that are going to get their first hands to the footy more often than not. So that's I think going back a couple of years, Sandilands was almost like not converting those hit-outs to conversion. Now they seem to be doing that pretty well when he's there. So I guess over a period of time, we'll start to make that connection a lot more often.
You've got quality young midfielders that are no doubt learning a lot from Black and Power. Can you eke another year out of those two just to help these young boys come through?
Oh, well, I think the pleasing thing is that I think that across the year, and we talk about Luke and Blackie, that and they've certainly had their good moments, that's for sure. But we're also getting some genuine leadership out of Jed Adcock and I guess Tom Rockcliffe is in the leadership group. But Josh Drummond, the ones that you sort of want to be able to take the next level, and they're really sort of taking ownership of the group, which is probably not necessarily what a lot would observe out there, but it's certainly something that you observe in the way they go do things. So the more you have that buy into that, then the better. You know, we've got, you know, obviously a younger brigade coming through that are believing in that, and they've sort of, I guess, put pen to paper to back that in, which has been really good. So, you know, not only got Blackie and Luke there, but they just set a great standard around the club. So, but, you know, we've got a long way to go as a club. We've still got to go a long way to go as a team. But in terms of just being able to see glimpses of what we need to be able to see, you know, we're getting some encouraging signs.